Okay. Hi everyone, I'm Larissa,
And I'm Brady.
and welcome back to our channel. And for this video, as a first year anniversary gift, Brady took me to the waterfalls. He knows I like to be in the water, just play with the water. I don't know why. I've always liked swimming, and
She thinks she's a mermaid.
sometimes I watched Ariel when I was a kid, so that's the result of it. I'm a product of Disney. Oh my goodness. Anyways, so yeah, he took me to Lovers Valley Waterfalls.
And so, one of the things that Taiwan is known for, besides being one of the best kept secrets of Asia, is they have a plethora of beautiful waterfalls for you to come and visit. And I chose this particular one, not just because of its name. I mean, come on, Lovers Valley. Oh, come on. But also, it was just extremely picturesque. And normally there's not that many people there. However,
Yeah.
it is during the weekend of the Moon Festival, which in Taiwan is kind of like their version of Thanksgiving. But more on that on a later video.
So before meeting Brady, I went to three stages in my life in the way I was approaching relationships, and so the first stage was in my teenage years, and during that time I was reading a lot of romance stories. Jane Austen being my favorite author, so I loved romance literature, and as a result I became a helpless romantic, and uh, I went on that journey on trying to find that perfect love, and having that perfect romance as the same kind of romance they experience in those stories I was reading. And but the problem with that was my body, because the way my body is shaped, it seems kind of being um, it was kind of working against me in regards to finding love, because I really quickly I became aware of the fact that my body was really attractive to men, and to most of them that was the only interest they found in me. They were not interested into getting to know me for me. Because of that, I was thinking, and I realized that, so nobody is going to if my body can get me romance, what else can it get me, right? Please don't judge me. Please don't. I became very wild. I became a serial flirt. So I mastered the codes of seduction, and in order to get what I want from men, and mainly material things. So, but the thing is, I was not really aware that I was doing that. I was just thinking that no, they just want my body, so why would I be the fool in the situation? And but the thing is, I was also not aware of the damage that I would cause to maybe the few good guys that would be in the middle of all that. And as a result, I became a perpetrator of the very thing that I was resenting some men for. So, and really quickly, I realized that that was the wrong way to go, and especially being a Christian. I'm telling you, there was some time when the Holy Spirit convicted me in the strongest way, and I just became, I just felt really bad inside my soul, and I repented, because that was not the attitude to have in regards to relationship or even dating, you know. That led me to the third stage, when I just told myself, you don't have to be a helpless romantic or thinking that perfect love exists. But at the same time, you don't have to be a serial flirt. You can just focus your relationship should not be the end goal of your life. So I started to thinking of relationship or finding love as a blessing, but not something that I have to pursue or to seek so hard, you know. So I just told myself, why don't you just focus on the things that you like to do, and mainly what I like to do is studying. So I just started pursuing my education. After that, I still was having few relationships here and there, but I was not approaching them the same way. So I was not like, when it didn't work out, mainly because I was in distance relationships, and I mean, long distance, it works out for some people, but for a lot of people it doesn't work. So I was not really too sad about it. I was just telling myself that's just what it is, you know. It is what it is. Yeah. So wanting to be in a relationship was not at the forefront of my life anymore, and that's exactly that moment where I met Brady, because I was just going to school, studying because I love reading papers and writing about them, and made my brain and force my brain to think. Meeting him was was amazing in itself, in the way it happened, because it truly, I'm sure I said that a lot, I know, but it truly felt like a scene from one of those romance books that I was reading. And after meeting him, I told myself, this can't be real. But as 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 I get to as I got to know him, as I got to spend time with him, I kept being amazed by who he was, which is the way that he can combine those qualities that sometimes can be seen incompatible, you know, in men. What I mean is that he can be very manly, but at the same time he's sensitive. He is a leader. He's truly a leader to me, but at the same time he's a great listener. He knows how to listen to people and care for them, not just me, but his friends in general. He's notorious for that. And he's a great provider, but at the same time he's a loving man. So him wanting to provide for me doesn't prevent him from wanting to spend time with me and show me his love, because he's gonna be generous with his the material aspect, but he's also generous with his person. He give me his time, you know. And I also like the fact that he's aware of his feelings and also knows how to express them. And wow, he's very intelligent. I'm sure that we all know that by now, but at the same time he's terribly humble about it, and he's very kind. So all of that, him being that person, created a space for me to truly show myself for who I was. He truly allowed me to be vulnerable with him. and and the thing is, it made me understand that him loving me is not because I am awesome. Yes, I would like to think that I'm awesome, but no. Him loving me is because of who he is. So it's because of how awesome he is, the way he loves me. I know that as women, we like to, we easily fall into that trap of wanting to be with a bad boy, because you want to feel like you're that woman that managed to change him. You're that woman that happened to be there and transform his life, like the other women were not up to the task, but you are up to the task. So it just feeds your ego. You feel like you're validated. You That's where you want to find your value.
Yeah, my boyfriend. Hey, baby. Yeah, hi, baby. Hi, baby. Hi, baby.
Not just bad boys or just a guy, like something, maybe like you find a guy, just truly something about him that bothers you, but you feel like, no, I'm gonna change him because I am amazing, you know. And it the problem with that is that I truly think that it creates a lot of unnecessary pressure unnecessary burden that we put onto ourselves. And because it always puts you in that position where you have to fight to earn his love, where you have to do the work to earn him treating you in a good way. And Brady lift up that heavy burden that I was taught that I should carry, because I know the same way he loves me, he would have loved that other girl if he hadn't met me. It makes me think that get over yourself, Larissa, and not being self-centered and not being insecure, because it also can bring some insecurities, because you're going to always try to be perfect, or try to match that image of perfection or excellence that you have in your mind. I truly understood that him loving me is not the result of me deserving it, but rather him being a loving person. So, and it just makes me feel free. It allowed me to feel even more confident in who I am, confident in knowing that my actions towards him are not done in a selfish manner in regards to trying to keep him next to me. And also it breaks that whole jealousy thing, because with it, I've never been so confident in loving someone. I I truly feel like I don't need to be jealous of any other person, because the values that he has in him makes me know that no, he's a good man. There's certain things that he's not going to do to you. I know that when I do something for him, it's truly for him, because I already know he loves me. So when I want to buy him a gift, or just like do something during his day that I know that's gonna make him smile, the pleasure that I get is truly seeing him happy, and I want to make him happy every day because I love him.
Hello there. You'll have to forgive me. I'm not trying to show you that I'm angry. It's just exceptionally bright, and I don't want this video to look trashy by getting the reflection of the camera in my sunglass lenses. So I'm going to be a big boy and tough this one out for everyone, because I want this to look nice for her. As far as how I approached relationships in the past, there's definitely things that I would do differently. There are definitely some regrets that I have had, more so based upon the nature of immaturity. Things that I would have handled differently, being the man I am today versus the boy I was then. However, with every relationship that I have had, I've definitely learned a lot, and for better or for worse, it has made me into the man that I am today. One thing that I've always been fairly consistent on, though, is showing empathy in a relationship, and always remembering that no matter how bad of a day you might have had, there's the potential that somebody had it worse than you. And it's not just about offering sympathy, it's about being willing to walk a mile in somebody else's shoes and understand that pain and that hurt that they have to deal with on a daily basis. So you can either find fault or you can find the remedy. And I've always chosen to be the best partner that I can be, whether they are deserving of that love and of that consideration or not. Now, unfortunately, that's also gotten me into trouble as well. I'm notoriously stubborn, and I've held on to relationships longer than I should have had. But I learned a lot from those experiences, so I can't necessarily... But I've learned a lot from those relationships in the past. And as much as I would like to just wipe the slate clean, you can't. So you just just take what you can from the past and you keep on rolling forward. And you just try to practice patience and kindness, even when you're tired, and even when you're running haggard. You just try to remember that if what you're doing has love with the intent, and what you're doing doesn't hurt anybody but makes the situation better, even if it comes at a certain loss for you, that's okay. That's okay, because some sacrifices are worth it. Now, I'm no angel, but I like being with someone like Larissa, who is angelic and who can provide that salvation, and even a certain amount of divinity, or at the very least, reminds me that the divine still exists and still has a presence within my life. It troubles me that it's such an effort for some people to act like an adult rather than a child. That a juvenile tendency is the first go-to gut reaction. Whether we're talking about, they took my toy, now I'm crying, I throw a temper tantrum, or an eye for an eye. And it troubles me even more how people don't want to work at things. People don't want to put in the effort. Maybe it's a product of our current society. I don't know. What I do know is that if you feel it, and if it feels right, then you should carry on with it. And if what you're doing is right, then you should keep on doing it. It's very easy to love Larissa. I know I personally can get grumpy sometimes, in a very Harrison Ford sense of the matter, perhaps. I don't get nearly as much sleep as I probably should, and I am a workaholic, self-admitted. But I enjoy working hard to show her that she's not with a bum, as well as the pride in doing a job right and getting it done right the first time so you don't have to do it again. And I don't like to waste time, because that's time I don't get back to spend with her. When I'm here in the now and having these moments with her, they mean everything to me. It was the reason why I decided to do this YouTube channel with her, because I wanted the opportunity to document our memories as they occurred in real time. Hopefully we could watch them again. Hopefully we could share them with somebody. And right now we're sharing them with you, I suppose. But it's more of taking advantage of that time well spent together. That time when you know you have somebody that there's no other place in the world you'd rather be than right there in their arms. And I really love that about her. Been around the world, but she's still the best on earth. Now, with regards to what the future may hold, what fortunes the future might bring, I just simply look forward to tomorrow. If I can get another day after that, wonderful. I can get another day after that day as well, perfect. Because I don't want there to ever be a day where I come even the slightest bit close, not of taking her for granted, because I can't even imagine that's possible, but rather I don't want there to be a moment where there's any question in her mind how strongly I feel for this woman, the importance that she has to me. the goodness and the kindness that she brings, whether it's the softness in her touch upon my skin or the gentlest of tremble within her voice when she's just happy to see me. I don't just look forward to a future or a tomorrow with my lady. I have to come to terms and contend with myself in regards rather to being greedy, because there's not enough moments with her that could ever satisfy the hunger that my heart has for her. I don't know what the future brings no more than anybody else, but I do know that the only way that I have a future is if I have her by my side. I think that's a pretty good place to be. I'll enjoy every sunrise I can get with her, because that means I got one more day with her. What more could a man ask?